besides all that, what's next up news is you got Kevin Hart. Now, you and I know we both say all this separately, and I didn't want to hit you with the opinion. I actually purposely wanted you to come in here and express what happened right now. And for those who don't know, who might be underneath the rock, Kevin Hart went in 24 hours. He went from announcing that he was about to be the next host of the Oscars for 2019, and then slowly after that, he announced that he was not going to host it because of some old tweets that were dug up of him making homophobic remarks. Now, keep in mind, the tweets
10 years ago.
But keep in mind, there's two things we need to know. Now, the tweets are hell of offensive. They are bad, right? But over the years, Kevin Hart has apologized about the tweets, explained the tweets, talked about the tweets. He's never hid from these tweets himself, right? Mm-hmm. And so his argument, or his, I don't want to say argument, his statement was pretty much, we can't, quote unquote, feed the internet trolls, and he's not going to do it. So he told the Oscars, I appreciate it. I guess they told him all he had to do was apologize and he can host it, but he said no.
Definitely not doing it.
What you think about that?
I mean, I think he stand his ground. You don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. So, I mean, Kevin don't need it.
It ain't a money issue for real, but it was like his dream job. He did point that out.
It ain't a money issue. It was just he just wanted to do it just to say he did it as a notch under his belt type of thing, as a trophy type of thing. But I mean, and right now, I don't know if it's because in support of Kevin that these things are coming out, but right now, I mean, they got Amy Shoemaker for another similar tweet, Sarah Silverman, and Chelsea Handler. And it don't get no whiter than that. So
wow, what things did they say? Give me an example.
They say in quote.
Do they have it listed?
Yeah, they got it listed. Amy Shoemaker says, enjoy Skyfall fags. I'm about to get knee deep in Helen Hurt. The sessions. All right. Sarah Silverman says, I don't mean this in a hurtful way, but the new Bachelorette's a faggot.
Wow.
So, and then Chelsea Handler says, this is what a big fag bird likes when he flexes. Well, look, I guess she meant to say looks like. This was a big fag bird looks like, and she had the photo, but I can't see the photo that was.
Do they have down the year that these tweets were made?
No. It doesn't have the year. Or 2010 for Silverman. Shoemaker was 2012. And I think the other two were 2010. Handler and Silverman were 2010. And Shoemaker was 2012.
I mean, yeah.
Around the same time, his was 2009.
Yeah, around the same time. And I hear the argument also that people were making online about to say that he shouldn't be fired or accused of that is to say that people should stop being offended, right? But I'm posing a real question. When is there a time when we're actually allowed to kind of grow? And I'm not even saying this as a Kevin Hart fan because, to me, Kevin Hart is just kind of like there. He's cool. I respect his hustle. But I'm not like a diehard fan where I'm like, oh, my God, he should have been doing it. But because to me, I find it funny how if you remember within that time frame when he had first announced that he was doing the Oscars, there were a lot of people that were ragging on him. Like, oh, this is going to be whack. He's going to tell a bunch of whack jokes, da-da-da-da-da. But then when this situation came over, now everyone, is defending him for that. But my question is, when are we allowed to grow in that sense? Especially if he's already apologized. Is he supposed to keep apologizing and keep on apologizing? And he's supposed to apologize now he has a bigger platform? Because if you apologize, when you had 300,000 followers versus now you got 300 million followers, does that make a difference? And Kevin made a good point. He said the energy that they put up reading those tweets, they should put that same energy into looking up the times where I apologize for those tweets. So I think that was a good point also, too. I mean, people were pointing out that a lot of white people who've hosted Oscars and Golden Globes had done some questionable things in the past, but yet you don't say anything when it comes to that.
But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants Trump because he said offensive things towards everybody in Hollywood, but if he ain't the liberal America, they would have him too because Trump has always been who he is. Mm-hmm. You remember about 4 years ago, Trump was cool, right? In the sense, even a lot of people in hip-hop were at his, Snoop was at his roast, and a lot of people, now everyone wants to come out and say things like, oh, well, he paid me to be there and I never really liked him. But Trump was always who he was. We were the ones who were shocked by him. He didn't change. We changed our opinion on him, right? Yeah. So you got someone like him who's always been offensive, but he's always been invited to be at places. He's been on SNL even before all of that, So my whole thing with that is, when are you allowed to change and when do the rules apply? Do they apply for someone like you said, like a Trump for the white male or the Amy maker and all of them of the world, or it just only applies to us black people when we're talking about things that are homophobic and things of that nature? Like, when does it apply?
It applies when you go on the biggest stage and they don't like it. They want to bring you down. So they're going to dig up whatever it is.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. There are also some people out there that was like, yeah, you know, they bring him down, like they brought down my man Cosby. I saw this dude that I was cool with who put that up. And I put the word was, but I'm like, bro, that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all, bro.
But I get where he's going with it. They just trying to take the one at the top down, trying to take Kev out of his spot some way, somehow. So I get what he's saying.
What spot did Cosby have?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Cosby was one of the greatest ever, like, to do it. Like, as far as sitcoms, movies, to stand-up comedian, he did it all.
Okay, so, yeah, I get all that as a lifetime, but in that moment, Cosby wasn't, like, the hot person the way Kevin Hart done.
No, not in that moment, but his mystique and his iconic stature and credibility was still at the top. Like,
right, I'm just only saying that the way the dude was stating it, he was stating it is Cosby was like, usually that rule, I'm only saying usually that rule applies to the black comedian who's on his way up, like Dave Chappelle, you know, somebody who's on their way up to a point. Cosby had already had, you know, the things that he had. So it's not like he was on a rise or something. I mean, you know, you got that whole thing where he was about to buy NBC. People been saying since 88, but, you know, I don't know how much that is. But, you know, with Kevin Hart, you know.
I never heard that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was always the thing. The thing with Cosby, not to get too far off track, was they were like, they didn't want to bring this stuff up until he was about to buy NBC. But the whole rumor that he was about to buy NBC had been going around since the late 80s. So I don't even know if that applies. But when it comes to Kevin Hart, I think with his case in particular is that he apologized for these things and he spoke about these things. Now, if you want to tell me that his apology wasn't good enough and you want to make that argument or whatever the case, then cool. But I do think it's kind of, I don't know. Maybe the Oscars, it's on y'all. You guys should do background checks if that's the case. Do more thorough background checks. Because obvious, the Twitter people, they're doing background checks better than everybody, if that's the case. So maybe, maybe you should start hiring some trolls on your staff or something like that. But don't hire somebody and not. Here's the thing: you're gonna put a hell of pressure on the next person to host it. Because the next person you hosted, they people really gonna be digging that person up.
Yeah,
that's for sure. You better be prepared. For real. You better just call Chris Rock again.
They better be bleached.
Right. Record and all. Just come out there. They ain't did nothing. Yeah. They might start doing like the Grammys. You know, the Grammys for like years didn't have a host. Just present the award, perform. You know what I mean? You come up there and talk for a second, and then, they didn't, you know, for the longest, the Grammys was not doing the host thing. So, you know, it's going to get to that point in a second. So, I don't know, though. Shout out to Kevin, man, you know, because at the end of the day, I feel bad because you know that it was something that he really wanted to do, like that dream job that he's always wanted, and he couldn't get it. But he'll probably get another shot, though. Kevin's still young, still out here getting it.
I think he's 40.
Yeah.